Well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jeff Cox, bringing you into programming this afternoon for the first of what we expect to be several tornado warnings this afternoon. This is in association with Hurricane Michael. This is a tornado-warned storm right now, the red outline area. It starts in the Elko community, runs over to Marshallville, and over towards Perry as well. This is a cell that is moving very quickly to the northwest right now and will eventually cross 75 and eventually 127 east of Marshallville. It's this rotation that is crossing 75 right now, and as we put the timeline on for you, the St. Louis area should be there by 3:33. So for St. Louis, you've got about a 15-minute heads up that the potential for a tornado is moving in your direction. The green is where wind goes towards the radar. The orange here is going away from the radar, and as a result, we've got spin right here showing up very evident on the radar. And this again is just south of Moss Oak, crossing 75 and 41, where we expect the potential of a tornado. This is something that has probably crossed 75 in the last 5 minutes or so and could have very well impacted travel in that area. So if you're in between Oak Knolls and St. Louis, you need to be putting into place your tornado safety procedures right now. Matt just talked about them, so take us with you. This is a great time, folks. Whether you're in this warning or not, I want you to download our weather app and our news app right now. If you go to your app store and search WGXA News, download the app. If you lose power or if you're in your safe room, you can watch our coverage right now on our smartphone app. This rain is associated with Michael, and it's only going to get worse, folks. Michael is going to pack a punch when it comes through middle Georgia. I think this storm will be worse than Irma, folks. So what happened last year during Irma, we will likely exceed that with Michael. Fort Valley, you need to be seeking shelter now. Fort Valley State University, we need to be putting our emergency plans in place as we speak, as this is headed toward a populated area right now, and that's assuming classes have been in session in Fort Valley. I'm not aware if they canceled classes today or not, as we've seen some universities do. Houston County, you're in the clear. The rotation is now north of St. Louis in Peach County. According to Fort Valley State's Twitter, they were closed today. I'm thrilled to hear that. They are expected to reopen Friday is what I'm being told. So that is wonderful news. That means the campus was quiet. We didn't have students in classes. I'm thrilled to know that, and I'm glad and I applaud them for making that decision. There is not a Category 1 or stronger hurricane to have passed within 50 miles of Macon since the year 1900. So we expect this to be a generational storm. I don't know if I can describe it any better than that. There is not an escape plan for getting away from Michael at this point. We know it's coming here. This is Panama City. They recorded a wind gust of 128. The station is not reporting now. I have to assume either power failure or the station is no longer functioning. Same for Apalachicola, no longer getting data from them. At 10 o'clock, what jumps out to me, Cordell at 67 miles per hour, but notice the 45 in Dublin, the 44 in Macon, the 46 in Warner Robins. So by 10 o'clock tonight, we're already gusting 40 plus across most of middle Georgia, in addition to these intense heavy rain bands coming in and the chance for embedded tornadoes as well. I told our newsroom yesterday and today, this is a marathon, not a sprint. This is a long duration event, 12 to 18 hours. So this is our radar detecting debris in the environment. Again, it could be leaves, it could be limbs, it could be insulation, it could be shingles, it could be 2x4s. I don't know, I can't tell you that. But what I can say is that this thing is growing in size, and that's a concern for me. And this is generally headed west. So Carsonville, which is in North Taylor County, you're not in the warning, but Carsonville, I want you to go ahead and seek shelter, because I don't like the trend that this is going. It's not going this way, it's going this way. So Carsonville and 19 and 80, where they intersect, that's the area that you need to be worried about. And it hit home. One of those tweets mentioned Angelo's. Angelo's is a very popular steak restaurant, steakhouse in Panama City, and there's damage there. So, when you start seeing landmarks that you recognize, Angelo's, Pineapple Willie's, places like that in a destination like Panama City, that's when you start to realize the brevity of the situation. Look at the radar, and something that stands out to me, the eye, the center of circulation, is now in Georgia. So now we're starting to transition from Florida to Georgia with the center of circulation. Those things are designed to be alarm clocks at night, and they can save your life. It's an insurance policy, and it's probably the cheapest life insurance policy you'll find. Between our app and a NOAA Weather Radio, you are covered should these alerts come through during the overnight hours. All of Middle Georgia should have prepared for damaging wind and power outages coming our way. And the problem is, if you haven't prepared, we're kind of at the no return point because things are going to go downhill fast. You're going to want Facebook, you're going to want Instagram and Twitter and Snapchat, and you're going to want to be able to watch our coverage as well, and you can do that on the news app. And so if you've got power right now, your smart devices need to be plugged in. Don't go without it. And then as the night goes on and you lose power, you'll have a way to be connected. And if you're still mad about missing your show, think back to Irma last year. Did you lose power? Did you have a tree down? Did you have some damage? Well, this is going to be worse than Irma in Middle Georgia. So that's why we're here tonight, and it's a marathon, not a sprint. We got a long ways to go. I don't want to sound like I'm preaching to you, but I'm preaching to you. You know, the curfews were issued for a reason, folks. It's in your safety, and so you know, I get it. If it's an emergency, okay, use judgment. But if you're going out just to go out, don't, because you're putting your life at risk. We've got trees down all across the area, and power outages probably because trees and power lines are down. And so you just put yourself in danger. So don't go out tonight if you don't have to. And if you can go to work a little bit later tomorrow, that's a good advice as well. If I could write you an excuse note, I would, but I'm not sure how much clout I have in Middle Georgia. Warnings are in effect right now. Let's take you to the impacted areas, and we're really concerned about Upson County right now. An enormous amount of thunder and lightning and torrential rain in Thomaston. This is a time you do not want to be out and about in Upson County. The leading edge also moving into Butler right now in Taylor County. Downstream, Culloden, Musella, Roberta, Reynolds, all in the path of this. Those areas you need to be seeking shelter immediately. Notice the leading edge where the red meets the green. This is essentially a wall of wind that is coming into these areas. So let's put a timeline on this damaging wind potential. It's moving to the east at 40 miles per hour. So Culloden, it's basically there now. We're also going to be watching for Butler and Goldson, Strouds, Reynolds, Roberta, and Zenith, all between now and 5:30. West Bibb County, Lizella, Lake Tobosoffke, you were in that warning as well. So keep an eye on this storm as it moves in from the west. There is damaging wind along this line, and it's impacting Crawford, Upson, and Monroe counties as we speak. Tornado warning in effect now for Macon and Bibb County. Downtown Macon, and we are taking power hits as we speak. We should come back on the air. Hopefully you can hear us. Guys in the back, let me know if we're still on TV. Hopefully we are. Okay, we're on TV, so that's good news. We are taking power hits in downtown Macon as this wall of wind, this tornado warning comes through. This is your house, right? We need to be in the green room, and that green room is the center part of the house on the lowest floor away from windows. And I know it sounds dramatic, but cover your head, folks, with a helmet, blankets, pillows, whatever you need to do to stay safe, folks. This is going to be a wall of wind that is going to produce damage. Wind gusts in excess of 70 miles per hour. Sheriff's Office is indicating that we may have had a touchdown at Sardis Church in 75. So these are things that our team is following up on this evening and will continue to track for you. That is a live view of downtown Macon there on your screen, and you can still see the lightning in the distance. This whole area is kind of a big spin in Myrick's Mill, and this is sliding east towards McIntyre and Irwinton. Full disclosure here, we didn't expect this today. I talked to the Weather Service because I was like, hey, what did we miss? We try to learn every day in the Weather Center. And I said, what did we miss? And their response was, we didn't expect it either. So this is a curveball from Mother Nature, but we're here for you and we're covering the storm. Macon and Bibb County, if you need to get out and travel north and west, don't go east of Macon right now. But we also understand that there may have been a touchdown around I-75 at Sardis Church Road in the Skipperton area. We've got a crew headed that way. Tavares Jones is headed that way, and we'll be surveying that damage and we'll bring it to you as we get it. We've talked about this so much this evening. Tornado is such a buzzword. Right now, there's not a tornado with this, but this is a wall of wind that is going to come through and punch hard. And so Wrightsville, you need to be seeking shelter immediately if you haven't already. You have been watching severe weather coverage all evening long here on both Fox 24 and ABC 16. We now go to regular programming in progress.